Hey, what up? Welcome back to our channel, Intentional Lifestyle Creators TV. What's going on, fam?
What up, guys?
Yo, this is episode 2 of building an awesome marriage while building an amazing business. And
marriage first.
Yeah, do that first. Do that first. Episode 1 though, you're definitely going to want to check it out. We'll leave a link to that below so you can check out episode 1 because we went over some really cool stuff with 2 amazing speakers. A recap is we went to a marriage conference at New Spring Church. It was really cool. It was called Tighten the Knot. Definitely check it out. Look up the hashtag Tighten the Knot because it was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But
check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And make sure you connect with us, okay? If you're new to this channel, you have not subscribed yet, make sure you connect with us because we love to hear from you. And we love to connect with all the people. If you feel like you're a creator and you love just talking about lifestyle and entrepreneurship and just living the most amazing life that you possibly can.
Family, money,
all that.
Business, everything.
We're here to make your life better. And part of making your life better is sharing how we plan to make our life better, you know, because we're on the same journey.
Doing it. Yeah.
We're on the same journey. So make sure you get subscribed, make sure you connect with us, and let us know what you think about this episode, all right? So we went to this, again, it's been a few weeks, so we've been implementing a lot of stuff that we learned, okay? So today we're going to be sharing the post 2 speakers that we heard from, and it was some good stuff. It was some good stuff. And I can tell you, you know,
here we go.
Let me tell you something.
Here we go.
All the kids, gather around, kids. You know, we have still had our ups and downs. We said on episode 1, we are not the perfect couple, okay? We still had our ups and downs, but our ups have been different and our downs have been different too. I would say since that marriage conference, like, it's been really intentional about things. Like arguments have been better, good things have been, I mean, it's parenting has been better too.
And, well, yes, I think parenting has definitely been a lot better. Not the relation, no, I'm just kidding. No. It has been better. And I'm pregnant on top of that. So, like, yeah, that's like extra.
We'll do episodes of building a business with kids later, but this is just the marriage.
Well, we already have kids.
It's true. We have some beautiful kids. Go check them out on the gram if you ain't checked us out yet.
Forget about the other kids.
Yo, but I'm telling you. But I think when you say marriage first, when you're building a business with someone, especially your spouse, things can get a little crazy sometimes. And so I think it's definitely made a difference in business conversations and business planning and business execution, money. So I'm telling you, don't take this stuff lightly, what we're about to share.
But I didn't want you to say that because even if you're not building a business with your spouse, this is still good stuff.
100%.
Like, this is for married couples, or even if you're not married yet, but you want to or thinking about it someday.
True that.
Like, this is still really good stuff. So it has nothing to do with business. Like, this is just for relationships, period. Yeah. So, like, don't turn this off if you're not building a business with your spouse because you still need it. Yeah. Like, I could think of 20 of my friends that need this episode right now. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, and they're not building a business with their spouse.
You never know, though. I mean, trust me, you hear this stuff, and, you know, just to kind of dive in a little bit of that, like, there were probably couples that heard the same thing that we heard, that they probably didn't go home and use it right away. Right? Or there were probably couples in there that have been like, okay, I've been doing that, great. You know what I mean? So no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're like Wes said, whether you're single, no matter where you are, take this stuff, use it, and at some point, it may come out. Some point.
I think it's really. As I was reading through my notes, it's like still really good stuff for people that aren't married yet because they're not ready if they're not down with the things that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, and it's all good.
And well, yeah, but so like that, we're helping people not do it
right
prematurely. Like if you're not ready to like get this stuff, like, you're not ready to be married, and that's
Woo.
okay.
Yeah, perfectly fine.
Hey, I was 35 before I was ready.
She was cat lady, yo.
No rush on the marriage thing.
That's probably a topic so we can stay on track. That's another topic for another day, okay? But yo, the first thing we want to hit on today was a speaker. I think her name was Chelsea Smith. That's who it was. We'll tag everybody. So make sure you head over to our website. ILCuniversity.com/TTK2, the number 2, TTK2. That's Tighten the Knot.
Tighten the Knot 2, guys.
Okay, just so all my math people out there that can't put it together. That's what the show notes for these episodes are, and we'll leave them a link below. Okay, but the first thing was creating and finding new passions. And kind of connecting with the same passion that your spouse has. So we'll dig into this a little bit. So
you dig into that.
Okay. So Wes is a Saints fan. If none of y'all know, Wes is a Saints fan. Okay, and as I choose to not always participate in being that Saints fan, I'm still going to support her, and I'm going to love her, and I'm going to go to these Saints games, and we're going to go again. And there's proof out there that I have put on Saints paraphernalia before. And
yeah, you don't even have a real football team to root for.
Here's the deal.
So
here's the deal. Okay, I'm a Falcons fan as a kid. Hold on. Don't tell me who I am and who I'm not.
He has no real team.
Okay, I like the Falcons. Okay.
Does he own one Falcons of anything?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I do. I have a few things.
No, you don't.
They're just not here. They're in boxes somewhere else. Who knows where they are?
But they were owned. Your parents' attic.
Okay, but they're still in the vicinity. Here's the deal, okay? The point I'm trying to make...
If you are a real fan of anything, your fan stuff is not locked away.
Okay.
Your fan stuff is with you at all times, so you can wear it.
She's a super fan, okay? Gosh. I'm just a regular fan.
I got it tatted.
Okay? I'm just a guy.
You're not a regular fan.
I'm just a guy who likes...
You're not a regular fan. Anyways, moving on. Pressing forward.
All right. So... The point that I'm trying to make is, we'll use a business example. Let's just say, because both of us started out in network marketing, but that's how we really got into online entrepreneurship. And a lot of times in network marketing, one person as a couple, they tend to, find something, they find a passion, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, you're really excited about this thing. Or maybe it's not network marketing. Maybe you got your own thing, and maybe you got this idea in your mind about creating your own business, which we fully support. And hey, you're going after this thing, right? But maybe your spouse doesn't see it yet. Maybe they just don't have that vision yet. And guess what? They're not supposed to all the time because it's not their vision. Mm-hmm. Okay? And as a couple, it's our job to say, you know what, like, we are one, and if it's her passion, it's my passion. You know what I mean? Like, I have to believe in you, and no matter what, even if I can't necessarily see the whole vision, mm-hmm. I gotta say, you know what? I got her back no matter what, because we are a mirror. And if she's passionate about something, then it's my job to seek her. Like, I know in episode 1 we talked about knowing your spouse, like being the expert on your spouse.
Right.
This is kind of a derivative of that thing of just saying, you know what, if you're passionate about, you got the retreat coming up, the women's retreat coming up. That was your thing. That was, hey, I really want to do this. This is driving me. I feel it in my heart. I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my soul. This is what I need to do. And we had talked before about, like, I don't know if this is the right time. I don't know if it's the right time. Not the right time to focus on that. Not the right time to put that on that. And if your heart is pushing you to it, then guess what? My heart has to go there too. My energy has to go there too. Why? Because we are one. So no matter what comes up, it could be business, it could be personal, it could be entertainment. Support your spouse. Find those passions. Find those creative things that you can get on the same page with each other. And one of the things that Chelsea mentioned was, it may not feel like you're extremely passionate about it day one, but if you actually engage yourself in it, because she was talking about, she's not a football fan, she's not a Clemson fan, and she never grew up with football, but all of a sudden now she's a super fan. Now she gets ready for every game day, and now
like she took the initiative to like and the intention to like learn football and watch football with her husband,
ask questions,
and like go to the bar and like get involved. And so it got to the point, like obviously day one she wasn't like, oh hell yeah, football, rah. Right. But after like all of her, you know, like trying to learn it and trying to just like be with him and be passionate with him, now she's like a bigger fan than him.
Right. And then on his part too, he had to throw in the patience. You know, because a lot of times as men, you know, it's real easy to be like, oh, I don't want to answer this question.
Right, I
just
want to hang out with my boys.
Right, but then we want to complain that like you don't know anything, but she's been asking questions, and you know, so it's like this tug of war. Not really a tug of war, but it's a give and take.
Yeah.
And if you want your spouse to be passionate about something, you want to share these things, because that's what keeps people together. You know, you hear about these people growing apart, and then this happens in their relationship, and then it gets blamed on something else, and it's like, well, no. What were y'all doing together, though?
Right.
You know? Did you actually find things to do together? Did you actually pursue her passions, or did you pursue his? So that's a big thing. That's some questions you may have to ask in your current relationship or a future relationship, but you know, that's one of our biggest takeaways from Chelsea, for sure.
That was your biggest takeaway.
My biggest takeaway from Chelsea.
We are not one on that.
No, I don't support that. That mirror is foggy.
You just follow my passions, and that's it.
Yeah, just follow me, son. Are we moving to the next one, or we go?
No, did I get to talk about Chelsea?
I didn't know. You said before we started the show.
I have my own notes.
Let's hear them then. Bring out the notes. Bring out the notes.
So what she said, as a woman thinks in her heart, so she is. As a wife thinks of her husband, so he is. And so, like, that kind of, like, I guess, hit home for me because, like, as a woman, and I'm sure, like, every woman can get on this level, but, like, you, like, find one thing that annoys you about your husband, and then, like, you just dwell on that one thought, and then, like, the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. And next thing you know, you're like, this piece of shit, blah, 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 like, all in your head. And then, like, that's not going to make him want to do better, right? Like, if you're, like, thinking all these things, and, like, and then it comes out, and you're, like, yelling at him and, like, calling him these names that you're thinking in your head, like, that's not going to make him turn into Prince Charming. Like, that's going to make him actually turn into a piece of shit, right?
Right. The story that she told was actually pretty funny.
I can tell the story.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, it was, she kept finding his dirty underwear all over the place. And so when she would clean the house, she would find his underwear, like, all random places. In the bathroom, under the bed, on the side of the bed, like, all these random places.
Sounds like Julian.
Which each piece of underwear she picked up, she would like, oh, this idiot. Oh, I'm so tired of him. Oh, this, oh, that. And then, like, by the time she's done cleaning up the house, she would, like, hate her husband. And then he would come home from work not knowing all these thoughts that were racing through her head all day and how much she wanted to, like, murder him. And so he would walk in the door wanting to chill out with his wife, and she would just, like, snap on him. And so it would end up, like, this, like, bad...
He didn't know what was coming. He'd been gone all day.
Right.
You know, and then she had built this 10-hour build up. And he's just thinking like, okay, I'm working, doing my thing, coming home. Hey, honey.
Right. But women do that all the time. Like, all the time. Because we carry so many emotions. And, like, we just, like, carry all this stuff. Like, oh, he left the crackers on the counter, and then, oh, he didn't take the trash out, and then, oh, you know, like, whatever, you're, like, building all this up and, like, just holding on to all these emotions, and then it ruins, like, a perfectly good, what could have been a good night together, because, like, you're just thinking all these stupid thoughts, and it's stupid little things, right? And so, like, what's...
She said, I was going to say, because, like, she said words either kill or they give life. And it's so true. Those thoughts lead to words. And so if you're thinking something, all of a sudden it gets verbalized. And then, like Wes was saying, over an hour, 2 hour, days, weeks. I mean, if you are speaking under your breath badly about your spouse, you know, because I've done it before. And it's like, I've never done that before in my life, ever. Okay, but listening to Chelsea, I was like, man, like I catch my, like, even in an argument, even in a situation, like literally since that day have not, like, don't call names. It's not because again, if we think of ourselves as a mirror, like, would I call myself that? You know what I mean? No. Would I talk about that, talk that way about myself? I mean, hopefully not. I mean,
well, no, that doesn't even make sense, because most people would call themselves that. They just wouldn't call a person they love that.
Exactly.
But anyways, no, what she ended up doing was, like, the next Friday when she was cleaning the house and picking up all his underwear, she thought of something that she loved about him instead. So, like, every piece of underwear, instead of like, oh, he's an idiot, oh, I hate him, oh, I want to punch him in the face, she was like, oh, I am so grateful that he's such a good father. Oh, I'm so grateful that he's a great provider for this family. Yeah. And, like, so by the time he got home, they were able to enjoy a night together. So, like, I know I've been doing that a lot, like, because obviously he's a man and he does a lot of things that drive me insane. And so instead of, like, me wanting to punch him in the face, I think about things like, I am grateful that he's an amazing father. I'm grateful that he loves us and that he loves me. I'm grateful that he's a great provider. Like, I am grateful that he's that stable that leads us to God daily. There's so many things that I do love about him, obviously, because I married him.
It's assault, by the way. It's assault.
Punching you in the face?
Is it not? Okay. Rules are true.
So it helps. It helps a lot. So, like, instead of, like, letting all these thoughts build up in your head that, like, leads you to bad situations and, like, days of you not talking to your spouse, actually dwell on the things that you are thankful for, the things that you are with him for, that you love him for, that you married him for, and for guys too. Like, I know guys aren't, like, so emotionally, like, they don't, like, see things and, like, oh, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, because you guys are just like, dun, dun. But
it's kind of like the story of, the strong wolf and the weak wolf. Like, it whichever wolf wins is gonna the one you feed the most. You know what I mean? And if you feed that negativity wolf, that thought, because each thought is like a little piece of food, and you just feed it. That's the one that when it's time to fight, which one's gonna win? The one you've been feeding the most, right? And each thought or each word that's just slowly either bringing life to your marriage, or it's slowly bringing death to your marriage. So we have to really think, okay, like, who am I feeding today? Which one do I want to feed today?
Like, who's gonna win today?
Exactly. So those are some big takeaways from
she was super good. We do have another speaker, but before we go on to the next one, so there was this older couple that have been married for 50 years, and they got on stage, and I know you didn't, like, get a whole bunch from them, but I do have some really good notes. Yeah. So one of the things that the wife said, and I don't remember their names, but this is something that's been, like, really, really tough for me. And she was like, be blessed to be your husband's helper. And, like, so when you say that to a strong woman who's, like, always done everything on her own, like, it hurts, right? Like, helper?
Who?
I'm nobody's helper.
Spell helper.
Who the hell?
Who's helping who?
But think about it. God created Eve to be Adam's helper because he needed, okay? So, like, your husband, like, needs you. You are there as, like, his rib. Like, he needs you to be his helper through life, because he will not ever reach his full potential without you. He needs you. So think about it like that.
Men think about it like that too. And so on the guy's side, you got to think about the same thing. It's like, you could read that piece of scripture and where it says, like, God made a helper, and you'd be like, oh, like an assistant or something. Like, I mean, because you could think about that all wrong, and then but then you can think, you know what, maybe I am accepting that my capability of me reaching my full potential is because of this woman, is because I can't do it alone, and being humble enough to be like, you know what, she's not here to like
cook me dinner and wash my clothes.
Right, she's here to, like, help me, to really help me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And God even refers to himself as the ultimate helper. So when you look inside
Yeah.
and you look inside Scripture, all of a sudden you're like, wait. Helper is probably the most prestigious thing that you can be, because God refers to himself as the ultimate helper. So in a sense, it's like, you gotta lift them up. You gotta we gotta lift up our women, because if we lift them up, guess what? Guess what happens when we're lifting up our women? It all comes full circle.
Yeah. So another thing was, there's no bigger commitment than the one you made before the Lord. And that is like so important, because a lot of people look at marriage like, oh, whatever, I can get divorced.
Right.
Like, no big deal. But like, no. Like, that's not how it works. You made a commitment before God, before the almighty, powerful being. Like, it's not just like some commitment you made to a job to go work on Saturday. Like, it's a commitment that you made to God. So like, that's the biggest commitment you can ever make in your whole entire life. So don't treat it like, well, if it doesn't work, I can get divorced. Or if we go through tough times, let's just get divorced. Like, no. When you go through tough times, you lean on God to help you, because he wants you to keep your promise to him, that commitment that you made to him. So that was huge for me, that they soaked on that for the past 50 years of their marriage. Yeah. Like, this is the biggest commitment we've ever made in our entire lives. Like, we have to make it work through the hard times.
Yeah, 100%. And if you find couples, like, go out and seek couples that have been married for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, because they've gone through their stuff. Trust me, believe me, there's nobody out there that's married for that long, and they've been like,
and it's been like peaches and cream.
Yeah, pretty good. Ever since day one, seemed like it's been pretty hunky-dory.
Right. So that was two of the things that they shared. And you guys, 50 years, like, it obviously it hasn't been like a walk in the park, but they did it, and they did it because they focused their whole relationship on God. Yep.
So. He's the center point. He's that center point. The last speaker, last but not least, some of the takeaways from Derwin Gray.
I didn't remember his name.
Taking on my notes. So Derwin Gray, former NFL guy, he runs a church now, and really, really awesome speaker. And one of the things, he came up on stage with his backpack on, and the big point that I think we kind of both took away from Derwin was, when you say I do, you also say I do to whatever baggage, whatever backpack your spouse has on. You say I do to that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's part of growing as a relationship to be like, hey, I recognize that baggage, and one, it's okay, and two, I'm gonna work with you to get that.
So no, because he went in on that. So when you say I do, you also say yes to a backpack full of spiritual brokenness, a backpack full of hurt, a backpack full of family dysfunction. Like, not one person on the planet is perfect.
Not one family is perfect.
Every person has baggage. And so when you say I do, you're no longer carrying only your baggage. Yeah. Like, you are saying yes to that other person's all their bullshit.
Yeah. So let's break that down into a phrase that we've probably all said. That's their problem, not mine. Yeah. We've probably all said that, that stuff she's got to deal with, that stuff he's got to deal with.
That's your family. That ain't my problem.
Those are your people.
Right.
That's your thing. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa. Yeah. Didn't we committed to the backpack.
So, and this is what I was talking about. Like, if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready to be married. Because if you're already married, you gotta work.
You gotta go to work.
You gotta work on it. I'm not saying go get divorced, but if you're not married yet and you're not ready to take on 100% of that person's bullshit and backpacks and garbage and whatever, then don't get married yet, because that's what it is. Yeah. Like, my family has issues, his family has issues, like, whatever. And like, one of us, I mean, I don't even know if I should say this out loud, but like, okay, I'll just use your parents as an example. Yeah. Like, his mom and dad, how long were they married before your dad got Parkinson's?
20 2 years.
So they got married, and then his dad got Parkinson's, and so like his mom, 10 years in, or more, longer than that, 10 years after he got Parkinson's, takes care of him. Like, that is a huge responsibility, but she looks at it like, this is who I married. I married this man. We had 22 years of love and joy and happiness and vacations and just memories that we made, and they built their relationship on God. And so that's what gives her the strength every day to like have to take care of him day in and day out. She works a very, very
it's a high demand job.
Yeah, high demanding job. And then she comes home and takes care of her husband, but she doesn't complain about it at all. And she doesn't never once think like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask for this. You did. You married that person, and anything can happen. And so like when you marry that person, you don't just give up when it gets hard. You don't give up when like their family's going through things and you don't want to deal with it. You have to deal with it. It's your shit too. Like,
and I think that's just that. I mean, just imagine what happens in life, in like almost every area in life. Imagine what happens when you like start there and you're like, man, I stopped putting responsibility on everything else but me, and be like, hey, it's mine too.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, it may be a little tough, and like Wes said, if it's too tough to swallow right now, then you may not be ready. You know, but if you can start thinking about that and be like, okay, like I just need to start working towards it. You know?
Yeah, and I think all these examples are going through my mind now. Like Julian's mom, like she is tough to deal with. She is not an easy person to deal with. And there are days when I am like, look, that's your baby mama. I ain't got nothing to do with it. But then, you know, after a couple minutes of like getting myself together, I'm like, no, it is. That's what I signed up for. Yep. I said I do. This isn't brand new. Like, this is mine too. I'm in it 100%, just like he's in it 100%. So like
that makes a huge difference. I mean, that's night and day for that situation. So I'm sure you're thinking about a situation right now, like, damn, what would it look like? Because again, that changes the entire scope of the situation.
Like, just one more example I want to give, because I was talking to one of my best friends the other day, and him and his wife are, you know, just kind of going through a little rough patch or whatever, and she doesn't know what she wants to do, and he knows what he wants to do, and he's been doing it for a long, long time. And we were talking, and he was just venting, you know, but he was just like, man, I would be so much better off without her. Like, I know what I want. I know what I'm doing, and just because she don't know what she want to do, that's her problem. And I'm like, no, it's not. She's your wife. Like, you need to support her through this time that she doesn't know what she wants to do. Because I know Ryan's done it for me, and I've been there as his, like, support for him. And, like, that's just what you do. When you say I do, you don't just bounce. Yeah. Like, you're all in. And when it gets hard, you guys lean on God. You should be leaning on God always anyways. But when it gets hard and, like, you can't lift that person and you can't do it on your own, you shouldn't be doing it on your, trying to do it on your own anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. So, you know, he kind of wrapped up the event and said, okay, this is how you actually tighten the knot in your marriage. You find the purpose of your marriage. And the purpose of your marriage is like, it's an example to the world. Your marriage is an example to the world of God's love. And like, that's the core of what we're here to do. And, you know, that's kind of, we take our relationship, we take our lives, and all of a sudden, Intentional Lifestyle Creators is formed, and that's how we can really impact the world, and we share our message, and we share God's message, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, we have a new purpose to how we show up, not just for ourselves, but for millions of other people, you know, and once you actually claim that purpose for what your marriage is and take responsibility for it, I think everything starts to change, and it starts to change on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's pretty powerful. The next thing is a new identity, you know, and that, I think that's huge too, because a lot of us aren't claiming our identity like as one
in Christ.
Yeah, and that's huge, because it's like, how many of us are just lost and we're just not claiming like that badge or that tattoo
a daughter of Christ, a son of Christ. Like, you're just walking around, like, still hanging on to...
Nameless.
I'm that poor kid who's whatever happened growing up, and, like, that's what you're walking around. Right. Like, no.
Your identity is not what happened to you.
God washes all of that when you let him. And so, like, I've been through a lot. Like, I used to do a lot of drugs. I spent a lot of time in jail, like, all these things. And I do not walk around looking like that at all. Because God brought me through all those times, and he washed me and he cleansed me. And I am now a daughter of a king. I mean, I always was. But, I mean...
Right. You got to claim that identity.
When you see me, though, you don't say, like, oh, she looks like she used to do a lot of drugs. You know what I mean? Like, he completely cleansed me, my soul, my body, my everything. And now I claim that I am a daughter of a king, and that is it.
Yeah. And the last thing when it comes to really tightening the knot is building a relationship around love and respect. There's a book called Love and Respect. Check it out. We'll leave a link to it below if you want to check it out. But basically, the gist of it is women are fueled by love in some way. Now, you may have read that book, The 5 Love Languages, and you got to figure out how this person wants to receive love. But when it comes down to it, to our core, women are driven off love. Men are driven by respect. And where the knot loosens is where you want, like, as a man, you may want respect, but you're only going to give love when you get the respect you want. And then women only want to give respect when they're getting the love they need. So you have to go first. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not getting the respect that you feel you deserve as a man, then the first thing you do is say, okay, how can I show love to her how she wants? Because guess what you're going to get? You're going to get the respect you want. And there's, in the book they talk about a crazy cycle, and you can kind of see it. If you don't go first, the cycle's never going to end. You know what I mean? So if you want to tighten the knot and create a new cycle in your relationships, in your marriage, in your business, if you want to create these new cycles that kind of tighten the knot themselves, it starts with, how can I show love? How can I go first and show love? How can she go first and show respect?
No, so on that, I wrote down, honor the man you want him to be. So it'd be honor the woman you want her to be, and pray the man you want him to be. So, like, instead of, like, if he's not showing you the love, or if she's not showing you the respect, and, like, he ain't shit, whatever. No, treat him like the man that you want him to be, and pray for the man you want him to be, instead of, like, downgrading him or her, obviously. Yeah.
So hopefully you guys got a ton of value from this little mini series that we did about our marriage, and about how our marriage grows, and how that helps our business grow. All right, if you did get some value from it, we'd love to hear from you. All right, make sure you connect with us on Instagram if you want to continue this conversation. Make sure you do. It's at ILC University, as well as let us know your biggest takeaway. If you had a major takeaway, just like one big one that spoke to you, hit us up, send us a message, connect with us on Instagram or Facebook, find us somehow, and we want to connect with you. All right, and we hope... Yes, and we hope that you definitely got some value from it. Share this with somebody who needs it.
Let us know if you guys have any questions.
Yeah.
Because, if you can't tell, I'm definitely passionate about it. A new wife. I'm learning all these things, but I will...
I don't know all this stuff. New stuff. Just coming out, new stuff.
Who knew?
Who knew you could learn something new?
But, yeah, I definitely love to connect and share with you whatever I can, and also I am definitely down to take advice.
Yeah, we always. If you're old, if you hit that mark,
if you've been married for 20 plus years,
out.
Teach me something.
Reach out. We may even set up the interview. All right. Hey guys, make sure you get subscribed. All that good stuff. We'll catch you on the next episode of ILC TV. All right. Until then, don't settle for nothing. All right. Make it happen. Go create the lifestyle that you deserve. All right. Peace.